Now, bookmakers, bingo halls and casinos in Great Britain will have to carry out risk assessments to show how they will try to reduce gambling addiction.
The new regulations are meant to help identify potential problem gamblers. Our correspondent Dan Johnson has been looking at one area which is already working hard to tackle the issue.
Some areas have already gone further. In Manchester, this map combines all the risks to show the city's gambling hotspots.
This is Cheetham Hill, where there are plenty of opportunities to win or lose. Bookmakers here, another one on the corner and a third just up the road. And if you need access to quick cash, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pawnbrokers here. Just along here, another betting shop and the amusement arcade too.
The map also shows schools, homeless hostels and drug and alcohol treatment centres, all adding to the risk.
Interesting to see that. Let's speak to Tony Franklin, who's a self-confessed gambling addict. And just watching that, Tony, you sort of really get a sense of where some of these places that you gamble are, you know, right next to the pawn shops, giving people easy access to cash. What's it like for you? How difficult is it for you to avoid going in?
Yes, thank you. For me, as a sort of pathological gambling addict, I mean, the temptation is always there. So, you know, whenever I sort of, you know, go out and about or walk into town, you know, the betting shops are there. I can't avoid them. So really, it's a constant battle for someone like me, you know, to stay away from these places.
When did it start for you, Tony? How did it begin?
I mean, I've had a sort of 30-year plus addiction to these to gambling machines. For me, you know, I started playing the fixed odds betting terminals as soon as they appeared, really, in the bookmakers back in 1999, and really my addiction to machines went, you know, from, you know, really bad to worse to extremely serious.
But did it originally start from childhood?
Yeah, my addiction started from a young child because I was brought up near a seaside town.
That's very interesting, because one of the things they're going to try and change is sort of doing this risk assessment about vulnerable, you know, whether or not a betting shop would be near, or whatever it is, near a school. Would it have made any difference to you if that sort of risk assessment had happened, do you think?
I mean, there's nothing new with these risk assessments, really, because, you know, the provisions are contained within the sort of the Licensing Act and the licensing objectives, sorry. For me personally, no, I don't think it would have made any difference whatsoever, no.
And Tony, you were over the years, you said a 30-year sort of gambling issue. How much money do you think you've lost over that time?
You know, I mean, I don't keep a P&L. You know, I don't track my losses, and gamblers only talk about winnings, really. So, but you know, many hundreds of thousands of pounds, and probably quite likely, you know, over £1 million, I would say, over the years.
And it's really, I mean, it's had a big impact on your life, hasn't it?
It's had a huge impact on my life. I mean, it sort of, you know, takes you to destitution. I've been homeless several times. My wife, I've lost my wife, and as a result of it, you know, I'm separated from my children. So it has an absolutely huge impact.
I know one of the things that you've done is sort of what's called self-exclusion, haven't you? You've asked them not to let you gamble, haven't you? And they're thinking about sort of extending that scheme. So you just sign a piece of paper once, and then in the area you would be excluded. Would that work?
The self-exclusion system, as it stands at the moment, and the new scheme that's coming in is paper-based, and you know, it relies on people recognising your photo. So fundamentally, it's flawed, and the more people that are signing up for it, the less likely it is they're going to be able to spot people. I'm still able to go into betting shops today, having made huge efforts to exclude myself, and having trespass orders, etc., issued against me, and I'm still able to go into bookmakers.
And even if your credit cards are declined in that place, they'll still allow you to bet. Is that true? On occasions, you've had that experience. Is that
I've had
right?
the experience where multiple cards have declined, and still, you know, they'll try to put transactions through. So I don't feel that the bookmakers do anything to help people like myself. They don't care about the human aspect of it one jot, and they're in it. Obviously, they're a business and they're in it to make money, but it's, you know, it's a business that is really, you know, ruining people's lives.
Tony Franklin, thank you very much for your time this morning.